Well, y'all. Today I'll be breaking down why, despite the annual fee, I'm looking at the Amex Platinum Card, and you should be too. So stay tuned. Now, guys, this could be the next card I look into getting, right? I have talked about there's a few business cards that I'm planning on getting that fit perfectly with, how my business operates, that just help me earn additional rewards points and things like that. But when it comes to personal credit cards, this is more likely going to be the next card. So what I want to do is I want to give you a quick background on the card, then explain to you where I see the most benefit from this card, at least for my scenario. You might have a different experience depending on how you run your life or how you're living your life. But I hope that me showing you guys how I look intuitively about these cards, my insights whenever I'm looking at or planning on getting these cards, helps you be able to plan accordingly for yourself as well. Okay, so now when it comes to background on this card, currently there's a sign-up bonus of 100,000 points if you spend at least 6,000 in the first 6 months. So pretty much you got to spend about $1,000 a month on this credit card for you to be able to get this sign-up bonus. Now there are some targeted offers that can go as high as 150,000 bonus points with this card, so you want to keep that in mind. Now typically I recommend, especially if you don't typically spend $1,000 a month, your expenses aren't $1,000 a month, and you really want this card, you just want to plan it to whenever you have big expenses. Let's say, for example, you are supposed to be buying new furniture, right? And the furniture is going to cost you an extra $1,000 or $2,000. Then you can go ahead and run those expenses through that credit card and then just pay it off with the money that you've already been saving to buy for that furniture, right? So it adds an extra step, but because of that extra step, it can add so much more value to your life. That's kind of how I look at these cards. With this card, there is an annual fee, guys, and it's a steep one. It's $695 annual fee, which to me, before, I used to be against annual fees until I saw the value that I was able to get from a lot of these credit cards. And that's when now I started figuring out whether it makes sense or I can still profit despite the annual fee. So nowadays, I don't really worry as much. I just figure out what ways I'll negate that annual fee. For example, with my Amex Gold card, and I'll be shooting a video going even deeper into the Amex Gold card and what my experience has been with it so far and where I currently stand, but I get an Uber cash credit of $10 a month, which is $120 a year. I typically order food every week or so, right? At least once a week or once every other week, I'll order some sort of food. So now all I do is I use Uber Eats, right? So instead of using that cash credit for like Uber rides, I use it just for Uber Eats. This credit I pretty much used to just try out different restaurants during the days, okay? So that's what makes it dope. It's something that integrates into my life already. I was already doing it, so now I'm just saving $10 a month. Another thing I get a dining credit. I was getting a dining credit of $10 a month, which is another $120 a year, right? Now keep in mind, guys, the annual fee for the Amex Gold card is $250, right? But with just those two credits, you see that these two credits are giving me $240 already, right? So now I'm pretty much just paying $10 a year for the credit card fees, right? The annual fee. So when it comes to the dining credit, now previously with the dining credit, it pretty much only works at select restaurants or food apps. I was using the dining credit for Shake Shack, but I plan on going forward using it for the Grubhub app. So pretty much what I do is I order on the app, but I just go pick it up. I usually look for locations near my house and I'll just try out different restaurants and then go pick up the food. So just like I was doing with Uber Eats, I'll do the same thing with the Grubhub app. On top of that, I've also enrolled in 3 different Amex offers. First Amex offer is Peacock. I got $4.99 a month statement credit for 3 months with Peacock, so I signed up for Peacock. Disney Plus, I get $7.99 a month statement credit for 6 months, so I signed up for Disney Plus. And then Meta ads, so I get $150 ad credit when I spend $350 on Facebook ads. This is the only one that I really look at as a huge benefit since I'm already spending money on Facebook ads, so it makes sense. The other two I just think of as like, it's kind of, I look at it as like, yeah, it's a plus for the card, but those don't influence my decision on whether I should keep the gold card or not. It really comes down to, the two offers I mentioned previously, the dining credit and the Uber Cash, and Meta ads definitely added, right? The fact that I can get $150 credit on Facebook ads, that made it a game changer. It completely made this card worth it just by that, right? On top of that, I also get I believe it's 4X in grocery stores. So I've been using that and that helps me earn more membership rewards points, which is great as well. Now, what about the Platinum Card, right? The reason we all came here for, right? The Platinum Card, they have some benefits as well. And it really depends on what your current lifestyle is to figure out whether it could compensate, right? The benefits can compensate for that $695 annual fee. Now, I'm going to break down some of their main benefits and whether it's beneficial for me. And then we'll go from there. Now, first, right off the bat, one is up to $200 in statement credits annually for incidental fees charged to one airline, right? Which you get to select. Basically, you select an airline and you'll be reimbursed certain fees that were charged by the airlines, right? It could be things like checked baggage fees, overweight baggage fees, change fees, phone reservation fees, pet flight fees, airport lounge day passes, and annual memberships, which is the key for me, and just so on and so forth, right? It's gonna be things like that. So you can get up to a $200 credit or statement credit if you spend at least $200 at one airline which you choose through your membership portal for one of these different incidental fees. Okay, so again guys, also be sure to subscribe if you're interested in travel, because I'm going to be not only showing you guys how I travel, but how I managed to do that with credit cards, right? Things like the Platinum Card, my Amex Gold Card, and my Chase Card. I've been pretty much flying first and business class around the world and staying at locations for a month at a time. And a big reason I'm able to do that is both credit cards and because of how I now strategically run my life to make sure that I take advantage of offers that might come up, whether it's through credit card points or just regular offers that anybody can sign up for. Now, besides that, they also have seat assignment fees, in-flight amenities. You know, if you're ordering drinks and stuff or food, extra food on the flight, that can also be covered by the fees. You know, they have in-flight entertainment fees if you're buying stuff on the flight as well. So those are just a few examples. Another thing they have is up to a $200 annual hotel credit in the form of a statement credit if you prepay through the Amex travel portal. For two different types of hotels, either the Amex Fine Hotels and Resorts or the Amex Hotel Collection. Okay, so it's two different pretty much types of hotels that they have. If you choose one of those and you sign up and you actually book a stay of at least 2 nights, then you will be able to save $200 because they're gonna give you a statement credit. Now, this one may be worth it depending on your situation. If you're already gonna go to these type of hotels, it may be worth it. But you also want to check the pricing, because I've noticed that a lot of these hotels can be priced pretty high, where like some of these places they're like $600 a night or $200 a night. So I looked at it as like, if I can make it work to where, you know, let's say I need to stay at a hotel in the area and another hotel I'm paying $50 a night, but then this hotel I'm gonna pay $100 a night or $150 a night, where it's a better experience, but then I take advantage of this statement credit and I'm still paying about the same or less than I would for a hotel of lesser quality, then it makes sense, right? So that's kind of how you want to look at it. On top of that, they have an Uber VIP. They give you Uber VIP status, but more importantly, you get an Uber credit of $200, which is split into monthly, just kind of how it was for my gold card. They'll pretty much give you $15 a month, and then in December you get $20. Okay, so that's pretty much dope. I'm already using mine from the gold card, so this would definitely be something that I would be using that would make it beneficial for me. On top of that, they have up to $189 for annual clear credit to cover your annual membership. This pretty much, it just speeds up the first half of the whole TSA security process. If you guys have taken a flight before and you've more than likely gone through TSA, or you definitely gone through TSA, and what happens is TSA, first step you go through is they're just checking your identity, making sure that you have like your passport, driver license, whatever, and then you have a boarding ticket. And then the next step is you actually go through the security where you're taking off your shoes and stuff, and they check your baggage, right? So this helps speed up the first part of that process, where you don't really, you don't have to, they're not gonna check your identity and your boarding pass and stuff. They do biometrics from what I've seen, and they like scan your face somehow, okay? So that's something that would be useful for me. On top of that, they also have a $100 statement credit for global entry every 4 years, or TSA pre-check, but global entry comes with TSA pre-check, so most people will choose global entry. And that is definitely useful for me, man, especially coming back. I just got back from Guatemala. I got lucky that I had downloaded like this app where I was able to, had like a mobile passport app. But if I wasn't in the front of the line, it would have been even, or kind of in the middle. I wasn't in the front. In the middle of the line, if I was in the back, it would have been worse, because I would have had to wait for all the global entry people, right? So global entry would have smoothed the process completely for all that stuff. So definitely something that I'll be looking at here in the future. So it's definitely useful for me. Also, they have a up to $240 in annual digital entertainment credit. So this is pretty much going to be another, like, they give you $20 monthly statement credits if you're paying for certain purchases with the Amex Platinum Card. So this is going to be things like, these are the only options they pretty much have. They might add or take off some of these options, but this is what it is at the time of recording. It's going to be Audible, Disney Plus, the Disney Bundle, ESPN Plus, Hulu, Peacock, Sirius XM, and New York Times. Okay, so for me, I don't really use those. I have Peacock, but that's only because of my gold card. So I mean, I would use it, but it's like I'm not gonna value that when it comes to the actual card itself. Besides that, they have up to $300 in annual Equinox credits. They break that down into $25 a month, right? So you get that at Equinox. I'm not gonna say nothing about that. If you've seen the monthly prices for Equinox, you know what I think about that. Anyways. Up to $155 statement credit that covers the cost of monthly Walmart Plus membership as well. that gives you like free shipping, 2-day shipping, stuff like that. I pretty much drive to Walmart, and I don't mind driving to Walmart. It kind of gives me a break from what I'm doing. So not really much value in that for me. They have a $100 Saks Fifth Avenue credit, which is split up into two $50 statement credits. So one is you get it for the first 6 months of the year, and then the next 6 months or the last 6 months of the year, you get another $50 credit, a statement credit if you want to use it. I wouldn't use it. I don't even go to Saks Fifth. I've never stepped foot in a Saks Fifth store. So this has no value for me personally. So that's kind of my thoughts when it comes to those different. I kind of give you an idea of what benefits they are. Some of those you might find value in certain benefits that I might not have found value in, right? That's kind of how I look at it. So for me, the actual reimbursements for me, right, is the Uber, that $200 credit, hands down, I'm gonna use that. Clear, $189 a year credit, I'm gonna use that. Global Entry, I'm gonna use that. Hotel credit, I'm gonna use that, which is $200. Airline statement credits, $200. I could use that because I could see myself using that to access, getting like lounge day passes. And more than likely, I would have to decide between whether I use it for Delta or American. So if I'm ever, flying on one or the other, or I just have like a basic economy ticket, I can still get into those lounges. So that's something that I would have to decide. But aside from that, what other benefits made it worth it for me, right? To even think about getting this card. Even with the stuff that I mentioned, let's say that I was just breaking even on the card because of the other stuff, right? The reason why I even thought about getting this card in the first place is because of the lounge access. Guys, to me, this is just a game changer. I've gotten experience lounges, and it's crazy to think about the fact that I can go into some of these lounges and get free food, free drinks, and just an overall more comfortable experience where it makes you want to show up to the airport even earlier, right? I want to check in and get my check-in and stuff done 3 hours early so I can be relaxed and be able to work on my laptop and then comfortably get to the gate, right? Instead of what I used to do was I pull up to the airport last minute, barely checking my bags, and now I'm running around the airport like with a chicken with his head, looking like a chicken with his head cut off, running around trying to figure out where my gate is and then making sure I get on time, right? Everything just becomes a lot more laid back. So that gives you access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection, which this includes the Centurion lounges, which are super nice, the Priority Pass lounges, Airspace lounges, Escape lounges, and you can get access to Delta Sky Clubs when you're traveling on like a same-day Delta flight. So in terms of access, you have access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection. That includes the Centurion lounges, the Priority Pass lounges, Airspace lounges, Escape lounges, and Delta Sky Clubs as well. Now, Delta Sky Clubs, you only have access if you're on a same-day Delta flight. That's the reason why I had mentioned previously that I might actually choose Delta as a airline for the incidental fees, right? Because if I'm flying, typically I'm flying American. They have the biggest hub. They're actually headquartered in Dallas. So I'm typically flying on an American Airlines flight, right? So I wouldn't get access to the Delta Sky Clubs, but if I needed to get in there or I wanted to get in there, I can actually still be able to do it through using it as an incidental instead of actually trying to get access to it through this method, right? So that kind of gives me those options. On top of that, I get gold status at Hilton Honors and Marriott Bonvoy, which is a cool plus. And something that I previously didn't care about, right? But now I have, it's something that's I'm definitely thinking a lot more about, which is complimentary memberships to Hertz Gold Plus Rewards. Avis Preferred National has the Emerald Club Executive as well. Now, I didn't care much about these, but I ended up actually using a Rents car in Guatemala, and I think it would have been a huge plus for me if I did have something like that. So it's definitely something that I'm using or thinking about going forward. Now, I don't plan on using this card as a daily use card, not at all. Now, it's literally more about the additional perks that come with the card than the actual bonus points categories for me, right? They give you the 5x points per dollar that you spend on airfare, which as long as you buy it through Amex Travel, as well as 5x on prepaid hotels booked through Amex Travel, which is dope, but I'm not really focused on that. My main focus is coming from the actual benefits I get when I get, being able to get access to lounges and things like that. Okay, so definitely I'll link to the Amex card down below for you to be able to check out if that's something that you're interested in. Also, guys, if you're interested in learning how I actually manage to live in different locations for a month at a time, check out my playlist that I'll link to here, where it's going to literally break down exactly how you can go about doing it yourself and for you to be able to just learn what I'm currently doing. I also link to my playlist on my recent credit card pickup, the Amex Gold card, which I was mentioning. I'll shoot or link to that video here as well. Alrighty, so I appreciate y'all watching. Be sure you subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace.